Hello everyone, my name is Katie. I am the Introverted Reader, and today's video is not gonna be about books, so we're not in front of my bookshelf, we're just sitting on my van. This is actually a video that I promised you guys that I would do because I went on to Twitter and I asked you guys name me a Disney or Pixar movie and I'll watch it and review it for you guys. And my good friend Steven over at The Lawn Gnome, I'll leave his channel down below, you should go and subscribe to him, suggested that I watch Ratatouille. And I haven't watched Ratatouille in a long time, so I was just like, okay. But then I remembered that Ratatouille primarily is all about food and eating food and being obsessed with food and all that because it's all set at a restaurant. So before I even got to watching it, I made myself some lunch. So I had food in front of me, so I was able to eat while I was watching it. And all in all, this movie is really, really sweet. There is a lot of interesting themes that go through it. And I think there's definitely a lot in there that we tend to overlook a lot. So basically, the basic plot of Ratatouille is, if you see me look down, by the way, I made notes. You see, Stephen, I take this seriously. See, look at all my notes. Look at all my notes. Okay, so the basic plot is this story about this little rat called Remy. And, he lives with his dad and his brother and all the other rats. And, rats are scavengers really at the end of the day. They're doing whatever they can to, survive and get food and whatever. While all the other rats are eating all this garbage, Remy doesn't want to do that. Like, he wants to eat like real food, and he doesn't want to just eat the real food. He wants to prepare it and everything himself. And, he's obsessed with cooking and food and he just loves it, and a lot of the movie as well is centered around this chef called Gusteau, and he has this restaurant in Paris that is supposedly one of the best restaurants like ever in the world. Everybody who's anyone comes to his restaurant, and Remy just loves him. He has his book and everything. Well, Remy's a rat. Like, he sneaks into this little woman's house and reads the book, but you know what I mean. And let me just look at my notes in case I meet anything out. Oh yeah. And yes, and then later on in the movie, Remy comes across this young man called Linguini. I know, like, what? Who names their child Linguini? I don't know. But anyway, he, ends up at the restaurant and comes across this young man called Linguini. And his, he's really down on his luck and he's just trying to find a job. And the two of them somehow end up together and they end up sort of helping each other. Like, Remy helps Linguini, keep his job in the restaurant, whereas Linguini helps Remy sort of use his talent, but obviously not use it himself. Like, he hides under Linguini's chef hat and like pulls on his hair to get his arms and that to move, to get him to like prepare the food and stuff so that he can realize his dream of, being a chef. And all in all, like I said, I did really, really enjoy this movie. I thought it was really sweet. I loved the the incorporation of like food in the restaurant and stuff. And I really appreciated the message that the chef Gusteau had throughout the whole thing. His mantra was, anyone can cook. And listen, like, the closest I get to actual cooking is frozen pizza and grilled cheese. Like, that's really all I can do. Like, my mom is the cook, honestly. Like, my mom, like, she taught home economics for over 30 years and like she is an amazing chef. Like, she, like, we're baking and all here in lockdown. Like, it's happening. Like, we made our own bread, we made our own pizza. Like, it's happening here in lockdown right now, and I feel like this movie is just perfect to watch right now, just because, with like cooking and stuff. And let me just look at my notes again. Oh yes, the bond of friendship between, Linguini and Remy, and how they like help each other out and stuff like that in the movie. And also as well that it's set in Paris. And like Paris is like one of my favorite cities in the world. I haven't been able to visit, obviously. Well, I haven't visited in a really long time, but it's definitely a city that's very near and dear to my heart. I've spent a lot of time there with family and stuff, so yeah. And a lot of the themes that run through this movie that I mentioned at the beginning of this, one that I wrote down was family expectations. You know, both Remy and Linguini struggle with this a lot in the movie. Like, Remy is struggling with the fact that his father doesn't really want to accept the fact that he wants to interact with the humans, that he wants to, you know, be a chef. You know, he, like, seems to be this running theme throughout this movie and many other Disney and Pixar movies where we have the main character that is trying to break out of their social norm, that they want to be more than what they are. They want to explore, they want to try new things, or they have a certain passion that doesn't necessarily fit within that binary box that their families have put them in. And that's the ongoing theme with Remy and his father. Like, you know, there's a scene where Remy's father sort of nails it at home for him, and he's talking about, like, this is what humans do to us. Like, humans just see us as vermin. Like, a human would kill us. Like, a human, you know, humans are vicious, humans are this, blah, blah, blah. And there's something that, and they're, like, arguing back and forth, and Remy's father says, you know, you can't change your nature. And then Remy says, change is nature. And I was just like, where did I miss that the first time I watched this? Like, I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, that is so true. Like the world as a whole, us as humans, we're constantly evolving, we're constantly changing. And I sat and had a full-on existential crisis for a good couple minutes, and then I was just like, no, wait, I need to be watching this movie. I need to, like, Stephen told me to watch this movie, I need to pay attention. And yeah, and I'm just reading through my notes. Oh yeah, one of the very last things I wrote when it comes to themes is, don't change a friend to be anything else, and don't let anyone turn you into something that you're not. Like, that's definitely another theme running through this. Like, again, like I said, like, I've been reading a lot of books on this recently, so get ready for my May wrap up when it comes, but I've been reading a lot of books lately, you know, about gender and, you know, like, sexuality and like the LGBTQ spectrum as a whole and stuff like that. And there's this whole thing I've actually been reading, like, whenever I've read 2 of Juno Dawson's books this month, and one of the things that she really, really hits home is the fact that from the day we're born, you know, what, like, you're assigned a gender. Like, you didn't ask for your gender. Like, you didn't ask to be the person that you were born, if that makes any sense. Like, that label is put on you from the day you're born, and throughout the whole film, Remy has this label on him, Linguini has this label on him, that, you know, everyone thinks that Linguini isn't gonna adopt to anything, and obviously Remy and his father and everything is just like, you know, I mean, you're a rat, you know, like, stick to what you know and all this stuff. And I really appreciated the fact that Remy stuck up for himself, and, you know, like, he didn't do it in, like, an angry way towards his father. Like, he said it very calmly. He was just like, you know, humans really aren't all that bad, you know, like, why can't I be a little bit different, you know, why can't I hang out with, you know, why can't I, you know, why can't he search within himself and try to evolve and, you know, be someone who is that bit better? Because I'll tell you what, the person that I am now is damn well sure the person I was 2 years ago or 3 years ago. Like, change is nature. We're constantly evolving, and I really, really like that theme running through this movie. I really did appreciate that. And I mean, as far as the ending goes, it's not my favorite ending when it comes to a Pixar movie. It was honestly a little bit bittersweet, in my opinion. But I mean, it was still nice. You know, it was still nice. It was still a happy ending, but at the same time, I was just kind of like, You know, like it wasn't like it's very rare that in a Pixar movie that I'm not tearing up, but like in this one I was just like I hear what you're saying, but I was just not sure. But I mean, all in all, I did enjoy the film, and you know, it's a fun little Pixar movie about a rat who wants to be a chef, and we can all laugh about that later. You know, we can all laugh and, you know, and have a good time. And that's what the movie is as well, primarily. It is a good time. Like, I definitely would watch it again, or I would definitely recommend if it's a Pixar movie that you haven't watched, or if it's a movie that you haven't watched in a long time, watch it again and like really pay attention to the themes within it, because there was so much in there that I didn't even catch on the first time. So it's funny how like we watch these movies as children and all we see is the fun characters singing their songs or being funny, and then it's only whenever we get older that we see, oh wait, here, this is actually kind of serious. Oh wait, here, this is actually, you're trying to teach me something right now, you know. So yeah, I'm really, really happy that I watched it, and I do really want to do this again. So if there is another Disney, Pixar, Marvel, any sort of movie within the Walt Disney Corporation that you want me to watch and review for next time, leave it down in the comments or tweet me on Twitter. My Twitter, Instagram are down there as always. The subscribe button is there if you want to subscribe if you're new, and ring the bell so you know whenever I upload a new video. I really hope you enjoyed this. This is kind of the first time I've done a movie review. I'm not as good as you, Stephen, but I do my best. But yeah, anyway, let me know if you enjoyed it. Give it a thumbs up, and yeah, I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye.